circuit has been starved of international and local off-road motorsport for years. But courtesy of ABSA and the African Heritage Cross Country World Cup second leg, that all changed at the end of July. Round 5 of the ABSA Off-Road Championship Series, run in conjunction with the international event, was held in and around the picturesque city. And round 5 of the Nationals was, as always, a squeaker. All 7 of the hotly contested categories were still up for grabs, even though the battle lines had been drawn and most of the top contenders had sorted themselves out. But as it so often happens, a late charge or two and everything can be turned on its head. While teams were feverishly beavering away at their last-minute prep, the route was being laid out, and it would be a challenging one, stretching from the race headquarters at the Garden Court, East London, to Bishu, about 100 kilometres out of East London, for the start of the event, and then onto the beautiful Amathole Mountains, which by the end of the weekend would hold a wonderful surprise for the competitors. For defending national champions Nissan, there was the added inspiration of trying to make it 5 out of 5 victories in the year 2007. Duncan Vos and Hannes Grobler had already both notched up 2 fine wins and were intent on keeping the streak going. Vos's win with the stand-in co-driver Richard Leek in the Toyota 1000 Desert Race took him to the top of the championship standings, and the former champion was indeed desperate to stay there. But there was only 12 points in it, and Grobler and his co-driver Francois Jordan can never be discounted. The route was ideal for the SPs.
I think everyone's in the same boat, so there's no advantage for everyone. From what we've heard, it's quite a fast event, so that'll definitely suit our cars. So, you know, you've got to take each event as it comes, but hopefully we'll be well placed for this event.
The competition out there is now getting tougher and tougher, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, you know, all the teams are very, very fast. All the cars are very equal, so you've got to really think on your feet and make the best of the situation.
In the Toyota enclosure, there was a positive air, and newly crowned national class rally champion Marc Cronier was feeling upbeat.
And the guys have done a good job on the vehicles. I mean, we showed that we had some promising pace at the desert race. Unfortunately, the circumstances didn't play in our favour, and in off-road racing there are a lot of factors. It's not just about raw speed, it's about all the other factors around you that you've got to try and play into your favour, and it doesn't always plan out that way.
For Ford, a new environment meant a new challenge, and Brandon Harkis loves those.
Yeah, it's always nice to come somewhere new, it's a different challenge, and I think in off-road we've got some great events, and hopefully this will be just as good as some of our top events. And I've heard a lot about the route, that it's fast and open, but you know what, it's always the same. 500 kilometer racing, anything can happen. I believe the prologue's going to be a slight advantage to certain cars, they've got a little bit more top end, but at the end of the day, we've got what we've got, and we're going to make the best of that, so we've got to look to score where our advantage is.
For Class E leaders and winners already this season, Ruacon's George and Sharon Barkhuizen, planning wasn't really an option.
Well, plans, it's difficult to make plans. It's a completely new event. So we want to obviously get a good prologue. Don't take it too slow. But then tomorrow is a long day. We're going to, we have to finish. I think the stage now is if you don't finish a race, you're out of the championship. So we have to conserve and make sure that we finish races.
And that's what the special vehicle drivers would have been thinking. Here, father and son Nick and Ryan Harper were sitting pretty 10 points ahead of Motorite's Evan Hutchison and co-driver Kim Bergman.
Look, I've got to drive very fast to stay up there, but I've also got to be conservative. I've got to be careful that I don't throw it away and get a DNF. So I'm going to be quick and conservative and see where we are at the end of the race,
So it's a bit of a dilemma here, between a rock and a hard place.
Yeah, that's it. You've got guys who haven't got any points and they're just as fast, and they're going to go balls to the wall to try and win this race. And we've got to decide, do we chase them or do we just hold back and wait and see what happens. At the same time, we've also got to go quick on the time trial to get a good place so we're not too far back and we're not in the dust,
Motorite's Evan Hutchison was again ready to lead up front in the procession.
Yeah, it's worked in our favour. I'm fortunate enough to have a good navigator, so finding the route, being the first car to find the route, can have its advantages as well as its disadvantages. We often have to mow down the grass and find a way in some places. So it's never been a disadvantage. We seeded first for most of last year, and up until this race this year, we've been seeded first on qualifying. So starting in the front obviously hasn't given us a major problem. Although most of the time trials are normally 40 to 50 k's. Today we're going to be running 100 kilometers of virgin terrain. It just inspires us. We're out there in the front, we're the first car out there, and we just got to try and keep the car in the front. So I don't foresee a major problem. We'll go and give it our best.
For Class S leader Richard Schilling of the East London area brought back some fine memories.
I think in the early 90s we raced here. An event called the Settlers 500 was a lovely event. It was started in Grahamstown, I think, went to Kenton and back. It's always a good outing, so it's nice to be back in the Eastern Cape. I think it's good for off-road racing that we're moving away from traditional areas and coming to places like East London, Bishop. It's good.
Championship is going quite well for you.
Yeah, it's
nice lead. What's the plan for this weekend?
Well, to finish on 4 wheels, not 3 wheels like at the Toyota 1000. That last 20 kilometers at the Toyota 1000. It took a lot of effort to finish. We did it on 3 wheels, but to prep the car for this event has been a lot of work.
Understandably so after this damage, but that's the sport for you. However, at the Bishu City Centre, there was an undeniable air of excitement as the cars started to line up to take on a daunting and rather long 92 kilometres of prologue to determine the starting order for the next day's racing. The Harpers hit the road first and were raring to go, while Hutchison's Black Monster sounded rough, tough and ready. The Amathole 500 was game on, but on the route the specials soon found out that it was an ultra-fast layout and needed a lot of serious driving to keep it going at full tilt. While the lack of rain certainly did not help either. For the 5th event in a row, the dust factor would be one of the deciding factors. Cox and his co-driver Henny Tersteger were off to a good start. While the big red Rapsabat with Nardus Alberts and Colin Hunter aboard were flying in third on the road in the special vehicle class. Shamir Varayawa and Siegfried Rousseau have impressed this season and were certainly due a win. They were 4th. With Hutchison, the team manager at Motorrad, and Bergman right on their tails, pushing hard. The Century Property Development's bat in the hands of Colin Matthews and Alan Smith Calling appeared next, in turn just 22 seconds behind the Motorrad lads, and it proved that the competition was tough. Botswana challengers Karl-Heinz Sulwalt and Paul Helberg in their Zarko were next quickest, just another 12 seconds back. It was a logjam at the top. With the Harpers and the Atlas Copco bat in 8th place, sticking to their cautious approach early on. Herman Sulwalt and Mornay Moller were next fastest in the 2nd Sulwalt transport car. With the amiable Naeem Moussaji and Rehan Bodyana filling out the top 10 in their Total Motorsport Gymco 2000. The new outfit, Regent Insurance Partners, were pleased with the father and son, Jan and Hendrik Kraai, in Class B Championship leaders, shooting for a 5th consecutive win. With Marcus Taylor and Derek Keith chasing them just 5 minutes further back. In Class S, Richard Schilling and his nav, Chris Davies, in their Plastotech Aceco led, but only by 36 seconds. And that was from Glenn Gibson and Mark Whitehurst in their Absolute Race Go, who clocked 62 minutes and 8 seconds. But at the top, with a victory margin of just 59 seconds, it was Gary Bertelt and Jeff Minnett in their Atlas Copco bat. Jeff was making a welcome return to the sport after a 9-month hiatus. Cox and Tersteger chased hard, but were pushed by Alberts and Hunter all the way. In the production car class, Mark